Good morning and welcome back to New Day. It's time for our legal discussion, meaning that we're going into the segment that we call The Chamber. This morning we're discussing jaywalking. Let's take a look.
Jaywalking is a term many people may not be familiar with. It refers to a term when pedestrians cross the road without paying due diligence to road traffic regulations. Now in the chamber today, we're asking if ignorance of the law is an excuse when it comes to jaywalking. But first, we ask the pedestrians what they know about jaywalking. So have you heard of jaywalking?
Jaywalking, yes. When you cross a road without looking at the road signs before crossing, for example, if there's a traffic light and it's showing green or red, and you are not giving attention to it. Yes, for example, when it's red, you are supposed to stop. When it's green, you are supposed to cross. But you cross when it's red. Instead of you stopping, you cross. And when it's green, whereby the cars are supposed to cross, you, the human being, cross.
But do you think it's necessary for us to have a law that should regulate the movement of pedestrians on roads?
The law can be there, but the enforcement, that's where my problem is. You can have the law, but if there's nothing to enforce it, I mean, the law is just, the documents will be lying down there, and there's nobody supervising to make sure that it's being enforced. Yes, so laws can always be created, but our problem in this country is the enforcement. Enforcement is our problem.
Jaywalking? No. I've heard of his name once, I think, on the radio. Yes.
Jaywalking? No, I don't know any idea about jaywalking. I've not even heard it before.
So have you heard of jaywalking?
No, I've not heard of that.
But do you think it's necessary for there to be a law to regulate the movement of pedestrians when it comes to crossing roads?
Yeah, there should be a law. Because looking at this place, for instance, sometimes the vehicle that comes with the speed follow lights, they knock people. So there should be a law, yes, to regulate this road traffic. Every law should be enforced. So once we have a law, we have people who have to enforce the law. So that law should be enforced.
So what do you think can be done to throw more light on this law?
Education. We should educate the people, and then at the publicity as well.
Well, the term may not be popular with our pedestrians, but the law is still the law. Legal practitioner Alexander Afenyo-Markin joins us to tell us what the law says about jaywalking.
Well, obviously, you know that just as every driver is expected to observe certain rules under Road Traffic Act, if a person is also using our roads, walking under a red light or walking at on the road where there is no zebra crossing and all that, generally you would be doing so at your own peril. And then of course our laws under the Road Traffic Act also frown on same. So anything that is done by a pedestrian, a person, which is contrary to what is reasonably expected of you under the law to observe, would amount to some offense of a sort. And I think that the law provides for same. So for instance, I would want to look at a situation where there is a pedestrian crossing, there is a traffic light there, and then it has to show green for you to cross. And it is red, and you decide to cross when cars are on the road, and you are knocked down. The question is that, would you be entitled to any compensation, so to speak? My own view is that much as the driver who knocked you down may be charged, you, the person who did not observe due care, who decided to cross when it was red, would also should not expect to get perhaps the necessary compensation under the circumstance from the insurance, or that even in court, your own negligence can go against you because once it is red for pedestrian crossing, you are supposed to wait until it is green. Just as the principle applies to motorists, that when it is red, you stop, and when it is green, you have to move. Now again, if you decide to use the road anyhow, you decide to cross the road at a place on a highway, like Tema Motorway, you decide to cross the road to the other side, where it is not a designated place for you to cross. Obviously, you have breached the law, because it is not expected of you to do what you've done. So it's all about you, the pedestrian, also exercising due care, so that you can get sufficient protection under the law. You cannot act recklessly and expect to benefit from your recklessness. That is not right. If somebody is doing that, of course, the police have the power to arrest such a person and possibly charge the person. You know, if you go to advanced countries, these things are not entertained or allowed at all, because the laws provide for. And I believe that we have sufficient provisions in our laws to deal with, some of these things under our Road Traffic Act, and even under the public order offences. You would have many of them that the police can fish out and charge you with. You would have to charge, and once you are charged and you are sent to court, of course, once you are guilty, it's a misdemeanor. So obviously it could be a fine as a first thing, and perhaps if you're unable to pay, you may suffer a jail term. And I also believe that if you look at it in the reverse order for drivers, just as whenever they commit a road traffic offense, they go through the necessary processing of being charged and going to court and all that. It's more or less applied to people who commit such offenses to go through same procedure.
So why do you think
we have to increase public education? I know of late the police have done well by engaging in public education on our rights, our obligations, our responsibilities, what we need to do and what we need not to do. So I believe that intensifying the education to let people know how to conduct themselves as road users is very critical. I think a lot of Ghanaians don't know. You see people even crossing at the roundabout, and we also do not have sufficient overhead bridges. This N1, people crossing anyhow and being knocked down by cars. We need to educate people to know that you cannot do that, and it's an offense. And of course, the state has a greater responsibility. That greater responsibility is to make sufficient markings for people to know that this is where they are supposed to cross. This is what this symbol means, that you can cross here, you cannot cross here. Make sufficient overpass available on busy highways, knowing that people would have to cross and all that, so that people will not risk. Okay, all these are part of the greater responsibility of the state, and I believe that if we approach it like that as a nation, we will reduce the incidence of people jaywalking and perhaps being knocked down or being charged for obstructing traffic, because it's an obstruction of traffic. It's an obstruction. If you walk and cars are moving, you're obstructing traffic. And obviously, once you obstruct traffic, you commit an offense.